Hello, hello, hello. Sir David the Bard. I'm here at the clinic down in Hurricane, Utah. It's right along I-15, just before you get into St. George, Utah. It's a hell of a place. It doesn't have an airport. I don't even think it has a gas station. Kathleen, my new pilot, she had a hell of a time landing, and the plane bounced like a kangaroo, and she didn't even notice it, but I did anyway. Hurricane is an old town in Utah, and it's full of old Mormons. Now, St. George is kind of an up-and-coming part of Utah. It has a lot of non-members, so it's quite sane, if you know what I mean. Well, in Hurricane, when you run into old Mormons, they carry with them some ancient ideas on what's right and what's wrong. Now, this whole video is not for children. Don't use this one for family home evening, because we're going to be talking about testicles. Yes, testicles. Not tentacles. Testicles. Anyway, in Hurricane, I guess a new resident moved in, and he began a restaurant. He wanted to have I guess a steakhouse or beef or something restaurant. Now, Utah, I've been here a long time, before I came down to Kangaroo City, and it was a pretty rural. When I was at BYU in 72, 69, 68, it was very rural. A lot of horses, a lot of cows, a lot of cowboys, and a lot of cowboy hats, and a lot of trucks, pickup trucks with the gun racks in the back, and it was very common during deer season for the Utah cowboys to prove their manhood by killing a deer and then strapping it to the hood of their car and going down the freeway. Been there, done that, seen it, heard it. The Bard don't lie. Well, things have changed a little bit in Utah. Not a lot, but a little bit. I don't see the pickups anymore, and the gun racks, and the deer. I guess they just take the deer home and eat the meat, which is, normal stuff. Anyway, this guy down in Hurricane started a restaurant. Now, what he did is, as most restaurant owners do, it's very expensive to have things built. As a sign, some of those signs are like $10,000 to $50,000 for a business to come in and get a McDonald's or whatever. A McDonald's sign might be $100,000. Anyway, he went out, I guess, shopping at garage sales. Now, this part is not in the article, but the Bard knows these things. And he found a bull, a real statue of a bull. And so he paid money for it and took it home to his restaurant, and then erected it. And that is the right word. He erected it up on a pole to be his main sign. Now, the Hurricane residents, the old ladies, who don't even get their glasses fixed, can see there's something wrong with the bull. So they go to the city council.
Front door.
This is so common. They go to the city council to make a complaint. Now, when you go to the city council in any Mormon town, you're going to have all Mormons. The mayor's going to be a Mormon, and the city council members are all Mormons. And so your complaint, you might as well put a trash can on your head and just stand upside down, because you're going in the circular file. You don't complain in the Mormon community about anything. So anyway, all the old ladies and all the old men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again, so they went back into the city council, and they made a complaint that the bull's testicles were too large. Now, this is news in Utah, folks. when you can say the word testicles, this is news. Now, I don't know if they were looking for a city ordinance where you measure a bull's balls, or I don't know what the Mormons wanted. They just didn't want to see his balls. So I don't know. You put a jock strap on a bull? I don't know. Do they make jock straps for a bull? I don't know. So anyway, I just thought down below you'd like to read that article. It's funny as hell. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. I could just sit in a chair and laugh my ass off all day long about the crazy things that these people do in the name of the Lord, their Lord. So anyway, I've been accused of having brass balls, and you're just going to have to wait for my death because I've donated my body to the Smithsonian Institute, and that may come out like the Constitution. You know, it's behind a glass and it's kind of protected, and it can say these are the brass balls of the ball of the board. So, and I don't know if they're too big, they're too little. But in Utah, there is a standard of ball size. You can't make it up. So they've argued with the manager of the bull balls, and so they have tried to pass a law and they've tried to pass an ordinance. And he said when he bought the animal that, or the statue of the animal, that that's the way it was, and he thought it was okay. But the city, they don't think it's okay, and he says business is just ball busting. The business is just going and going. Next time I drive down to St. George, I may go into Hurricane and see this bull, and maybe I'll take a picture of it and send it back so you guys can see it. But anyway, if you don't have brass balls and if you don't have big balls, don't come to Utah. Don't come to Utah. Here's what I think is hilarious. Talking about big balls. Brigham Young had 57 wives. Brigham Young was a king. He wasn't just a governor. He was a king. Brigham Young orchestrated the Mountain Meadows Massacre. The evidence is weak up to Brigham Young, but it's definitely, if you know Brigham Young and you know the Mormons, you know that stake president didn't kill all those people without Briggy knowing about it. So if you're looking for brass balls or big balls, you know, you should start with Brigham Young. And down through the ages of holding the blacks from having full fellowship in the Mormon church, that takes balls, big balls. And hating the gays in California and spending millions and millions of dollars to knock down Proposition 8, big balls. It didn't work. The Mormons have had federal castrations on a pretty regular basis. That's why I don't want to be a Mormon anymore. I don't, you know, there's some things you don't mess with. So anyway, don't cut my throat. Don't tear out my heart. Don't put out my gums. My gums. They both start with a G. When that's dementia, you're close. Pay me, lay me, and nail me. Oh God, hear the words of my mouth, repeated 3 times. The true order of prayer, and hope you have health in the navel, marrow in the bones, strength in the loins and sinews. Power in the priesthood be upon me and upon my posterity through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. And that is the name of the second token of the Melchizedek priesthood, the patriarchal grip, or sure sign of the nails. And when I'm talking about power in the sinews, health in the navel, marrow in the bones, you know, the sinews I think are balls. But I do see the bull doing this with his front feet. I think he's hooked it up so it becomes mechanical. So anyway, you want to see big balls, go to Hurricane, Utah. As far as gone.